Hello everyone, I'm Pearl Prasad and I welcome you to the first episode of our podcast series called Perspective. Through this podcast series, we intend to talk to people from different walks of life, people who have somewhere down the line created a social impact, people who have made bold choices, and overarchingly people who have made the people of Nagpur smile with pride. Today, our guest is Dr. Ronnie Chatterjee. To begin with, Dr. Ronnie, let me ask you, where were you born and what was your academic journey like?
First of all, Paul, thank you so much for inviting me over here. I was born in Nagpur, and then I was still Nagpur is my birthplace, born and brought up in Nagpur. And I did my medical schooling from Mangalore. I was, I guess, 2006 batch, and then I did my medical schooling from Father Muller's Medical College, Mangalore. For 6-7 years, I was out of Nagpur, and then I came back to Nagpur in 2014, and that's how my journey is at the moment.
You have been, for a large part of your life, you have been out of Nagpur, you've been placed out of Nagpur. So, this goes very unnoticed is what I believe, that when you are away from family, it's a very, very bold choice. Just because everybody is doing it, people think it's cool. But what were your learnings? What were your failings? What is it that you feel that you missed out when you were out for these years?
See, there's a lot of things to learn when you are away from your family. First of all, the most important thing is the responsibility of all the way when you are alone, away from the family. You learn a lot of being responsible, you get a lot of, risk you take in taking risks in life. You discuss with people a lot because you meet a lot of people on the way. Then you learn from them rather than staying in the comfort zone. You watch their stories, you learn from them as well. You see different people, how they are approaching in their life towards their goal. You learn from them, and then at the same time, you incorporate all those learnings when you are not in the comfort zone at home. Second most important part, what I have gained staying outside, is the exposure. Exposure is really something which I feel at the moment, or for anyone, or for any young person who wants to achieve something in life, is really important, because I feel maturity doesn't come with age, it comes with exposure. And how well is your exposure is, that's what really matters is. Third most important thing what I've learned staying out is taking your own decisions, maybe your professional decision or your personal decision, because life is very much out of comfort when you are outside. So you are whole and soul responsible for everything. So that is also a very important thing what you learn, taking decisions with confidence. Another thing what I have learned is communications, being in touch with different people, communicating with them, professional contacts. uh, First thing about professional contacts, and then the second thing is how you assess yourself, where are you at the moment. Because whenever you are at home, you are always in the comfort zone where people try to make you feel that you are the best. But then once you are out of the comfort zone and you are outside, and then the people are not there to tell you that you are the best and we are going to follow you. You have to earn that thing, and that earning that thing comes with when you self assess yourself, when you realize what you are, what are your capabilities, what talent do you have, or self assessments, and how much efforts you have to put for those talents. So that is what matters when you are outside and when you are in home. Education wise also helped me a lot, because I studied in the southern part of India, Karnataka. So basically, from the discipline point of view, from education point of view, and from punctuality point of view, because I am really thankful for my professors who were always on time, punctual about lectures, because most of the colleges don't find people take lectures as well. So my professors were really hard with us, and because of them, at the moment, I'm here at the moment.
I completely agree to your point stating that self assessment and introspection is very important. But more so, would you recommend the youngsters of today to go out and study or pursue their passion, or do you think it's always better to be around you for your close ones? I know the comfort zone persists, But is it really necessary to be away from family in order to pursue your dreams and career?
Absolutely. If you see, anyone in this world who has achieved greatness in height is out of the comfort. One is someone who's running his parental business or parental work, just continuing with the same thing. So he can utilize whatever name his father has earned for him or his family has earned for him, and then they have made a reputation, and that's how when you work in your hometown, you just continue with that legacy. But if you have dreams which are not similar to your parental business or parental work, then you definitely have to move out because the thoughts doesn't match. And once the thought doesn't match, it's very difficult for you to make someone understand what are your dreams, what abilities and what motives you have in your life, rather than following the same footsteps what your the legacy has been going on. So it's a very I would say it's a very dicey thing, but at the same time, see, second thing what I would say is ki if your hometown is having that amount of exposure, what the what the outsiders, even the outsiders are coming to your hometown, and then you feel ki staying in the home or staying with the surroundings gonna make a worth of me, so then I would say that is also a better option. But depends on what are your dreams too. Now for example, if I say if somebody wants to, you know, achieve, or somebody wants to become a good actor, so definitely they'll pursue in a place where the acting industry is. So that doesn't mean that you are a good actor and you will work in your hometown and you will keep on acting. Fine, if you are loving your profession, if you don't want to make a big name and you just want to follow your passion, your hometown is a better option. But then if you want to make a big name, you have to go out, get exposed to things, get exposed to the learnings, take risk, learn from them, and keep on learning, keep on learning. See, even if I am sitting here at the moment, it's not because I have just only earned once, but I keep on working for myself. Every day I keep on learning something new which I don't know, and then you upgrade yourself. So I would say staying with the kings will make you a king. But if you have a big dream and if you are staying with someone or a few group of people who doesn't have that similar mindset or mentality, then it gets very difficult for you to make them digest your views and then they to help you out.
So, do you believe that Nagpur is equipped with musculoskeletal physiotherapy equipments in the academic journey and the professional journey? Do you think the city is equipped to breed more physiotherapists?
Absolutely, absolutely. City is equipped with that. But then I wouldn't comment much about the individual practices and individual approaches of the physios here, because that's totally their choice of practice, because even they are qualified. So I won't comment on anybody's qualifications and practice. But when it comes for equipment, or when it comes for treating someone with the best options, now that's a totally individual approach. In a lecture hall or in a classroom, the teacher teaches to everybody, but then there's only one topper. So the logic here is the same. Even if you are a pass out of a good institute, it's not mandatory like you will succeed in life. So it's your personal individual intentions. Even if you are a pass out of a poor college or a poor university, I'm talking in terms, not in terms of money, but in terms where the academic structure is really bad. So even those from that university, a student can come out and by his own will. What matters is the will of any individual, how efficient he wants to be in his life, what is his purpose, how well does he understand his purpose, his needs, his talent, his skills, his understanding, his dealing with the individuals, with the patients, about the science. The most important thing what I feel is anyone who has got an understanding about science, doesn't matter whether it's a physics or if it's a biology or if it's chemistry, science is something where you use logic. If you are not using logic, that doesn't make a science. Science means it's a scientific way of explaining a logical thing. So if a person doesn't know a science, still if he has a logic, he'll do good in his life, because he has the reason, he knows the logic behind everything. But science, if we study, we just use the scientific language to explain that logic. So I would say rather than going with the flow, we should understand the concepts of living life as well as what is your purpose of pursuing physio? What are your intentions after completing physio? Whether you want to become more successful, whether you want to become more popular, whether you want to become more famous, or you want to treat the patients, whether you want to become one of the best academicians, researchers, clinicians, it's up to you. So Nagpur, I would say, I won't comment on individuals' practice, but it's totally personal intentions. It's your personal will. So that's what make somebody different from a league.
This is a question to our viewers as well. Do you believe we have to be away from our families to pursue our passion? Do comment in the section below. I also think the organizations that you've been affiliated with in the past have helped you come to where you are today.
Yes, of course. I would really thank from the first organization where I had worked for. I've learned a lot from them because I was totally a newbie. When I was passed out of a university, I was knowing the academic profile, I was knowing how the system works, the clinical system works, but then I was too much new for the working system, what was running in India. Maybe different organizations have got different way of working, but then I am really much thankful for the first organization where I worked for. Two
What
and a
was
half
the
years.
organization?
I passed out in 2013 and then I came in Nagpur in 2013, maybe August. And then in 2014, February, I got appointed as the Physio of Residential Academy for Vidarbha Cricket Association, where I really thank Mr. Advait Manohar for giving me the opportunity to work for Vidarbha. And I was really much new into the system, but I was having a lot of knowledge with myself. That's my potential, what I have. That's my self-assessment at the moment. I came it with I would say 256 kgs of book I read, material I read, hard copy, what you say for the exams, for passing the master's degree, and then 30 GB of soft copy journal articles I read for the exam. So with that loaded knowledge, loaded information, I came to work for Vidarbha Cricket, and my expectations was too much. More into research, more into scientific, more into player oriented, athlete oriented. But then maybe for some other reason I wasn't feeling much satisfied with the kind of work, so I just quit it because it's better to stay out of the league rather than disturbing your own self. Then I went to Australia. And then I did manual therapy over there because that was my prime intention since my bachelor's time. And in India itself, I have learned a lot of manual therapy tricks from skills and tricks from a lot of manipulative therapists who are at the moment top renowned now in this country. But then I wanted to have a foreign approach as well. How do they think? The lateral way of thinking, all the clinical reasoning parts, and then a lot of things regarding to patients and all. How do they manage patients? Then how does the system work in India? How does it work in abroad? So I thought Australia is the best one because Australia is practically really well oriented as compared to UK and America. So I went to Australia and then I came back again, and then BCCI appointed me as a physio of Northeast. So I worked for 2-3 years in Northeast as a physio with the team. And at the moment, since 2 years, I'm being appointed by Odisha as a head physio. So I'm really much happy. And even I would thank Odisha for giving me this pleasant opportunity. And I just went through the interview for that, and I clicked with the interview, and then they were really happy to appoint me there. And when I worked for 1 year, the secretary of Odisha was really happy with the kind of work I did, even the players, and the management was too supportive. So they wanted me to continue again and again. So at the moment still they want me to continue, but then I'll see whether I just want to continue or not. So my 2 years contract with Odisha got over this time, but still they want me to continue back. So I've learned a lot.
A very popular badminton player of the city and internationally and nationally as well, Ritika Thakkar. So you've been part of her journey somewhere down the line. What would you want to say about her journey and your learnings?
See, the thing is what Ritika was not actually my patient. When it comes for training, it's the trainer's role in it more, and the coach. Mostly the system in Nagpur is what similar, I would say it's not professionally well organized. The trainer itself is the coach, and the coach is the coach itself, but then he trains also as well. So there is no place for any specialist SNC coach. So they send to different places for training for at the gyms and all. So I wasn't directly attached with Ritika, but then for couple of occasions for her injuries, I was always there. But at the moment, as I'm not available in Nagpur, so Ritika is in Hyderabad, and she's doing quite well with her now. And I would say her coach is different. I was just one who was looking for his injuries. And if I'm not available at the moment, then he keeps on going to some other physios, and I'm totally okay with it. My main motto is, if I'm not available, if the players are ready to go anywhere and they are getting treated for the right thing, so that's the primary aim, rather than keeping the injury for long and then misguiding the patients. So I would say Ritika is doing well with her at the moment.
Moving on to some technicalities, what do you think are the physiotherapy issues being faced majorly by the city, by the people of the city in Nagpur? Are there ACL tears? Are there ligament injuries? What do you think is on the rise, and how would you tell our viewers to go ahead with it? What is the right time of treatment?
See, if you play any kind of sport means there is a movement. Right. So whenever a movement is happening, there will always be any kind of trauma or any kind of overuse or any kind of illogical movement. Or see, I would, rather than the word illogical, I would say any kind of faulty movements. So that makes a sense rather than illogical. So any kind of faulty movements, there will be an injury, and it depends. Now, if we think about from scientific point of view, so the surface matters, the training matters, the athlete is growing age matters, the kind of training, the kind of gene, the kind of food, the kind of recovery patterns, all these matters. So injury will be happening, and injury, you can only do one thing, is you can only avoid them by taking preventive measures, but you cannot totally kill them. Because see, if I am traveling on the road and suddenly if I get hit by someone, so it's an road traffic accident. I'll try my best to save me, but then it happens. So yes, I would say a lot of injuries are there to deal with. I would say there are really qualified physios in Nagpur as well, who are doing good with them, uh, who are really treating them well on time, and I would thank them as well for being that much professional with the athletes. Other than that, yes, there is lack of research labs. There is lack of scientific approaches towards an injury. We don't discuss much on the injury patterns. Every sport will have got their own patterns of injuries. So rather than discussing and literating people about, and especially the physios and the medicos about them, we are just treating them, or we are just leaving them for the symptoms to subside, rather than researching more over it. So I would say research labs are less in Nagpur. Biomechanics and kinesiological approaches are quite less. No, I find hardly people talking about the biomechanics and the kinesiology, the force vectors, the momentums, the calculative forces on the athletes. So I would say that's a sports scientist job. But then the high performance centers, especially in the metros and where the professional athletes go for training. So yes, Nagpur should have a high performance center where people of different professionals working for the same cause should collaboratively come. Well, it should be either a government oriented, or it should be owned by a private company or anything like that, or a sports association, where you should be highly much into those aspects as per producing great athletes. So I would say high performance center is a real need of the hour for Nagpur and for Central India.
Do you think the awareness of various um, physiotherapy equipments and research ideas are also lacking amongst the people?
Now, if you talk about equipments, I would say there are different way of physio to deal with an athlete. Some are manipulative therapists, some are conventional physios who are totally dependent on the machines, electrotherapies and all. Some are sports physios, some are different breeds of physios are there. All right, so the conventional way of physio is the machine oriented, where you if somebody's coming to you, walk in, and then somebody's coming to you with a kind of problem and pain. So like after assessment, you deal with them and then you put them on the machines. All right, so that's the conventional way of treating them, and then you put them for 15 days and then you keep calling them. But then that's again, I won't be much more into that because that's an individual choice of a practitioner how to deal with his or her patients. Second one is the manipulative and the manual therapy way. What I practice is more about manual therapy. So for me, machines I use very less. Hardly I use any kind of machine. I'm more into manual, where I go with the assessment patterns, I go with the clinical reasonings, with the biomechanical assessments of structures, faulty movement patterns, and then I treat them via manually as well, by strengthening, by mobilizations, by different school of thoughts in mobilizations, needling if required or taping if required. I don't practice cupping and all because I don't feel that cupping is maybe physios are doing, but I don't feel like cupping is a physio's cup of treatment. But then that's fine if somebody's happy with it or it's working with it, so it's okay. That's my view for myself. So I feel I'm more into this, and my 95 to 100% of patients, I would say, are getting treated and getting cured with this what I'm doing. It's an ocean kind of thing, but it's up to us what treatment to choose and what is the best treatment for any kind of individual who walks into you. Whether if he's an athlete, whether he's a general population guy who doesn't play a sport, or he's a recreational sporty guy, or whether she's a female or a male, depends on the whether it's a hormonal issues, whether it's skeletal issues, whether it's a direct injuries, indirect traumas, and all these things matters a lot. So assessment needs to be really much more in depth. So my practice is not much more into conventional way, but I definitely have insights on the manual thing, and I'm pretty much happy with it, and I'm really much doing better with it. So I would definitely say, but then from research point of view, if you're thinking about high performance center, then we definitely need gait analysis machines, strength analysis machines, video, all those things, video analysts should be there, the biomechanists should be there, the sports scientists should be there, efficient physios and SNCs should be there. So all these things are, with knowledge, with scientific and the same concept of learning and work. So that's what I meant. Rather than hiring somebody who is a diploma holder who doesn't have that much science knowledge about any scientific knowledge about any kind of injuries or professional dealings he cannot do by himself. So all these things matters a lot. So that's the thing what I would say.
You've been very closely associated with athletes.
Yeah.
And we as a country and as a city have very been closely associated with cricket.
Yeah.
Because of having the academies, and we have a lot of potential cricketers in the market too. But do you think that there are other sports on the rise apart from cricket? Cricket is the center, is at the core of our sports tournaments. But do you think there are more sports on the rise, or is just the focus has just been cricket?
Cricket got popular, I would say, in terms of entertainment since the IPL came in the picture. And that's the format what was followed by different sports as well. So at the moment in the country, I would say, in the national television, people are watching Kabaddi. Pro Kabaddi has come. ISL league has come. ISL is football. Then the badminton league has come. The table tennis league has come. So a lot of sports have copied the concept of IPL. But still, I would say cricket-wise, the much more popular in India, because in every ball you have, once the bowler bowls, so every ball you have a pressure over the batsman and over the spectators as well. What will happen in the next ball? So the curiosity of what will happen next is the thing which keeps you alive in this.
But do you think Nagpur is breeding enough sports people apart from cricketers?
See, I have not gone inside the depth. But there are good players in Nagpur as well. Individual sports. If I'll talk about football, if I'll talk about cricket, if I'll talk about hockey. Hockey is, I don't think so. Hockey nowadays, if you see, the hockey players in Nagpur is very rare to see. Earlier there used to be a lot of hockey players from Nagpur.
But why so? Why do you believe that is?
See, now that's a different issue. Now that's a different political association issue. So it's better you ask the the right person what's the failure for not cultivating the culture of hockey in Nagpur, but then that's a different protocol. So the right person will tell you the right thing. I am not of that domain, so I won't comment on anything over it. But then there are different sports as well who are really struggling hard. So I would say the exposure by the media or by any kind of news channel, by any kind of sponsors, any kind of I would say a support from the society is quite less. What I suggest, what I think, maybe I may wrong, but then see, if somebody is going to play a cricket and then somebody is going to play kho-kho, so in our mind we say cricket is better than kho-kho. So why to push our kid for kho-kho? Just because we can't see our kid playing in TV. Because the kind of exposure what cricket is getting in TV, that's what I said in the beginning. It's all about exposure. So maturity comes with that. So a cricketer is earning high amount of money compared to a kho-kho player. So why would a parent would push his or her son or a daughter to play kho-kho? I'm not targeting the kho-kho game, but I'm just taking it as an example. There are different games. Kabaddi is also there. Kabaddi nowadays is doing really good after the pro Kabaddi has come in. I'm really happy that the athletes who are working so hard are getting paid for their hard work all these years. They're earning well. They can spend on themselves. They can spend on their family. Earlier, people don't used to get paid so much amount.
So do you believe that locally we should have more such tournaments that would cultivate and motivate potential players towards other games apart from cricket too?
Yes, absolutely.
Here I'm not trying to deviate people from cricket, but I want to understand that are the non-cricket players also getting enough value and credit for their game, or are they not? And if not, then there should be opportunities that should be availed to them.
There should be, now you see, I'll just give you a brief example of if something happens in a sport today and tomorrow if you read any random newspaper, you see the coverage in the sports. 50 to 80% will be taken by the cricket sport. So now it's not the fault of the cricketers, it's not the fault of the other sport athletes. Whose fault is this? Somebody who's capturing those moments, no. So I would say if you give equal representations to every sport, 30, 30, 30, 30. So then everything will be on the same platform. But then if you just being a bias because it's a popular, see, it's all TRP. Everything works on TRP. All right. So if cricket is gaining too much TRP because of every ball, the curiosity what will happen next, until 50 overs, 300 balls, 5 days test match. So every day 90 overs. All right. So everything has got a curiosity what will happen next.
Moving on to the last segment of this podcast, a particular message that you would like to give our viewers and majorly the youth, how to keep themselves fit, how not to get injured, and if so, how to chain their therapies and physiotherapy sessions.
Okay, so see, the message what I would say for the youth is train hard. Doesn't matter if you get injured because you have good physios at the moment in Nagpur who are taking care of them. Injury is a part of training. It could be either from the training or any kind of sport while playing on field as well. So injury, don't think much about the injury. Just be goal specific, be skill specific, and train harder. Be more scientific, be more logical. Discuss with the professionals. Choose your smart professionals. I would always say one thing: every good athlete has got a good mentor. All right, with whom he discuss everything. Whether it's a good physio, he's a good coach, he's a good SNC trainer, anybody, his father, his mother, anyone, his friends. So you need counseling and you need mentoring at times. So I would say rather than following the path, following the trait where people say the wind is flowing in the one way, so every athlete try to flow in that way. But the great people or anyone who wants to achieve greatness in life have to flow against the wind, because the conventional thoughts won't satisfy you very easily because your hunger is big, huge. So I would say you have to really much smart in choosing your options, you're choosing your professionals, and the best thing is, why to think so much rather than just going with the flow. And ultimately, it's all, whatever you get, it's the result of your efforts. Some people get best, some people get, all right, some people get late, some people get early. So it's just a matter of time.
Hey Bawa, like, share and follow for more updates.